What's going on, everybody? It is finally game week. Alex, Cody, Jason, it's our prize pick show. We finally get to talk about Ohio State and all that entails. So make sure you use that promo code Orange Blood. Sign up for prize picks. You pay $5, you get $50 instantly. Drop five, get 50. Use the promo code Orange Bloods. Be a part of it. Don't get left behind because all of us are about to get Christmas money. I'll start with you, Cody. Prize Picks finally put out everything as relates to Texas and Ohio State. There's a ton of options there as far as the Texas side goes. I'm curious, is there anything, Cody, that's kind of caught your attention as you kind of looked at what Prize Picks has on the board?
I'll be honest, the first thing that caught my eye just off the rip when I scrolled through everything was a Khalil Lockett over half rush plus receiving touchdown. Not maybe because I'm going to take it, more so because I didn't expect that to be one of the listed items. I expected Parker Livingstone to be on here, Wisner, Wingo, et cetera, et cetera. But I do think it's interesting that that's the freshman that they chose to put on there. I know some services had him as the highest ranked receiver, but I'll be interested to see what kind of workload he gets, or if there's any other receivers that get workload with the potential Emmett Mosley out of the game. So that was kind of the first one that caught my attention.
What about you, Jason? Is there anything that really caught your fancy when you started looking at it?
Man, there's so many to choose from. I don't remember ever seeing this many plays on our options on one Texas game, dude. It's crazy. I don't know, like some of the longest receptions I see, like DeAndre Moore 21.5 and Endry 17.5. I'm kind of, I know it's weird. Arch likes to push the ball downfield. We know that, but I'm kind of inclined to take the less. In my mind, I keep telling myself this is going to be a defensive, I don't say dominated, but maybe a defensive game. So I'm inclined to take some of maybe the lesses on the big plays. I think Arch even longest completion 42.5. Could he pop that with a big play to Wingo downfield? Yeah, we've seen he likes to take those shots, but I don't know. For some reason, I'm inclined to take the less. There's a lot of longest completions, longest rushes, things like that. That for some reason, I think these defenses are going to play well. I'm leaning more towards the less on those longest plays.
Alex, I saved the best for last, Alex. So because I know you usually go deep on it. So Alex, I'm just gonna give you the floor because this is what you do.
Well, as usual, dude. I'm all thrown off for this first Prize Picks prediction show because I always forget if we're doing our Texas predictions or whether we're getting right into Prize Picks or what.
I do it. Listen, I messed up, Alex. I think I was supposed to say something else, so don't worry about it. We'll sort it out and figure it out.
We'll get it figured out, man. It's the first week, Onward. It's the first week. It's like Jason said, it's a little overwhelming because I was looking at the Texas guys. I'm also looking at the Ohio State guys here, and I think that when I look at the Ohio State guys, Cody, is it are you going on the premise that you think that James Peoples is going to be the leading running back for these guys?
Yes, but I think it's going to be very much a split back. But that's the other side was like when I brought up Lockett, like there's no Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson is like a guy that's been often mentioned in this backfield. Like we haven't exactly heard Lockett often mentioned in the offense for Texas. So yeah, I think it's going to be Peoples and Donaldson mainly as a split.
I think, well, maybe that the initial thing that jumped off to me was like 12.5 rush attempts for James Peoples. I think they're going to try to get the running game going. Now, how effective they are, I'm not exactly sure. But you just got to figure in this game, everybody and their dog has been talking about, the Texas edge rush in this game and about the Texas secondary and about how that could be tough for a guy making his first start, like Julian's saying. Like, I think they want to make it easier on him. I think that they're going to at least try and get the run game established to some degree. And if James Peoples is your RB1, I still think, even if it's a split with three guys, I think that, if you get CJ Donaldson, 11 carries, you get Peoples 13, 14, something like that. Maybe and then Bo Jackson's the other one. Just to get him a couple touches. I think that 13 rushing attempts for him, just the way that and again, I'm not saying that I think that Ohio State's going to run all over Texas. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but I think they're going to at least try to establish it. And if that's the guy set to be their lead guy, I don't necessarily want to take the rushing yards more because I'm not sure how effective he's going to be. But I think 12.5 rushing attempts is too low.
It is for you, Cody. And I'll go back big picture, and then we'll go back to some of those other things. Or is this a low-scoring game for you? Is this a game that you feel like any of these offensive people are going to have any firepower? I mean, we talk so much about Jeremiah Smith. I don't know if we expect him to have one catch or 3 yards again, right? So, but realistically, when we look at it, and you guys might know what the point total might be at Vegas at this moment, but are you expecting an offensive firepower thing, or are you expecting this to be more of a defensive?
I think somewhere in the middle there. I don't think both teams are below 20. I think the winner is going to get through the 20 threshold. I think it'll just kind of be a not slow-paced, boring football game, but more of like, I think one team controls it for the majority, and then the other team is, chugging along, scores a touchdown here. And I don't think it's like this shootout 34-36 type of situation, but I also don't think it's going to be the lowest scoring game. So I'm kind of like riding the fence on that. I think both teams get there statistically, and they're fine, but they're not going to be big splashy plays, kind of like you're talking about.
So what about you, Jason?
Well,
sorry, go ahead. Go, Alex.
Alex. No big splashy plays. What is Jeremiah Smith? Was Jeremiah Smith at 84.5 receiving yards?
Yeah,
that seems substantial.
I mean, they had the number in this area last time, right? And Carnell Tate was the one that finished 7 for 87. So
yeah,
the Carnell Tate, technically, if you look at it, like he's probably going to be the guy that gets a little bit of slot usage. And slot would be your one spot, I would say, right now in the Texas defense that you'd probably want to target a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, all right. That makes sense, dude. Yeah. So do you like Jeremiah Smith, 84.5?
No, I'm not touching that. I'd rather take a touchdown for Smith than a receiving yards.
Fair enough.
Jason, what about you? What are you thinking of this game?
I'm thinking more lower scoring. I said it last week. I'm surprised. I'm showing the total at 47.5, which is a little higher than I would have expected. So, I know what we've heard about this Texas defense. So I assume that they're going to play well. This Texas offense still has some question marks, right? With inexperience along the offensive line, obviously Arch making first road start. So I'm expecting lower numbers. One thing that this is random, and I'm just kind of looking as we're talking. The two tight ends, Max Clare and Jack Endries, are both exactly 39.5, the exact same number here in Prizepicks, which I just think is interesting because Texas wanted Max Clare, and who got the better of that tight end deal, we'll see. But they're both slotted very exactly equal at 39.5. But yeah, if I'm going across the board on this, and there's so many picks on where I know we can't go through all of them. Like, I'm probably taking a lot of lesses in this game for both teams.
Alex, Ryan Day versus Steve Sarkisian. If we're just talking coaching at this moment, who do you got in that matchup?
Oh, I mean, I think that they're two. I guess I don't really see. I think that they're both great head coaches that don't. I don't think that they really. I don't think they really butt heads schematically, right? From what they're gonna be doing. I think that's more of like from a coaching perspective. I think what's going to be most interesting from it is more of these two defensive coordinators versus these two relatively inexperienced quarterbacks, right? I think that the coaching matchup is less Steve. So I think those are two figureheads, right? Sarkisian and Day. But I think the actual nuts and bolts of what's going to be happening here matchup wise is going to be Matt Patricia versus Arch Manning and Pete Kwiatkowski versus Julian Sayin. And both those guys, I think, are going to be doing similar things, and that's going to be trying to fool them with alignments, disguising coverages, stunts, twists, different games up front to throw these guys up, maybe try and dial up some interior pressure from the defensive line to get them flustered, and generally make things hard. That's always been a hallmark of what Matt Patricia has done whenever he's actually been, and he's had all kinds of roles. They've had to move him around to where obviously he was a head coach there for a horrible tenure with the Detroit Lions, but even when he came back and he was working with the Patriots again, they had him like as an offensive assistant and stuff like that. He's a super smart guy. Like Matt Patricia. Cody, what did he major in? Was it rocket science?
Yeah,
he's
it was like that.
Yeah, like he's a super smart guy. He's gonna have some cockamamie ideas dialed up, and you know what PK is gonna have up his sleeve here in this first game. This won't be one wherever we get a vanilla first game where they're trying to hold back. I mean, we're gonna see the kitchen sink thrown at this thing. So if we're talking about those particular matchups, the ones that I think involving coaches and their strategy have to do with these defensive coordinators versus these young, super talented but relatively inexperienced quarterbacks.
All right, well, Alex, let's write the universe, and let me get back to what we normally do, which is at this time we usually do predictions, and we do score predictions, and we'll see if there's any other meat left on the vine as far as some of the Prizepicks picks. So, Alice, I know you just finished talking, so I'm going to give you a chance to think about it. Jason, I'll start with you. What's your score prediction? What's your thought of this game? And give me what your prediction is going to be.
I'm kind of like changing my mind as we're doing this video on our, because I'm like looking at the total I'm showing is 47.5. Ohio State 1.5 point favorite. So basically you're saying like 24.5 for Ohio State, 23 for Texas. That's what Vegas, would say that how this game's going to play out. I'm going to come in a little under that just because I've said all week, like the last couple weeks, I've been thinking like 20 to somebody in the teens, that kind of score. But I think I'm going to bump it up just a little bit. I'm going to go Texas 23, Ohio State 20. So I'm going to take Texas with a late field goal to win it. I think it's a close game throughout. I do think it's fairly low scoring, fairly low on Prizepicks plays. So I'm going to go Texas 23, Ohio State 20.
All right,
Jason, just to prove I'm not copying you, I want you to see I wrote it down.
Good. Remind me for both of us, Alex, when we do our written predictions. I'll probably forget what I predicted. So,
So give me your thought on that, Alex. Give me your thought on 23-20.
It's basically just like Jason. I think that the implied team totals are just about right, but I've had the vision in my mind that this game was going to go under all along. I think it's going to be a game that's defined by what these defenses can do, and I think that it's right. It's right there with what Jason said, and I think that if this does go to 23-20, then that's going to mean
I think we lost Alex there. So
yeah, I was like, oh, is that my internet or not? I think Alex may have hit the.
Am I back? I just saw like a warning come up on my thing. I think I lost power.
No, you're good now, Alex.
If it is 23-20, I think what that would mean is that everybody in the whole Texas universe is going to say, "Wow, who's this Mason Shipley kid?"
Which I not to interrupt, Alex, but that was one of the plays that caught my eye. They have him at Mason Shipley
over 6.5 kicking points.
Yeah, so you're basically saying, hey, is he going to get 2 field goals or not? I think he will, right? I mean, but based on my score, but just in general, I think Mason Shipley gets 2 field goals. So that was one of the plays I actually liked on this board. So.
Yeah. So I'm right there with Jason. 23-20. I think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring than what the implied team totals there are. But of course that is Texas 23, Ohio State 20.
Fair enough. All right, so I got 2 people at 23-20. Cody, are you a third?
No, I'm not gonna be a third. I've been sitting kind of all summer at like 31-13. I think it's a little bit of a wider margin. But I came around, I closed out at 27-17. I think they win by 10. Texas does. And And I don't know who it really runs through. I think Jason made some good points about the tight end situation that I think we kind of forget a little bit about, being that like Gunnar Helm was a little bit of a hammer all year last year at that longest reception, and being kind of the quarterback's favorite at times. I'm going to go 27-17, which is going to be the under on the game total still. And then I think my two favorite picks are going to be Trey Wisner under less than 77.5 rushing plus receiving, and then Carnell Tate higher than 3.5 receptions.
I like both those, Cody. I'm with you, man. Which means you're probably going to be wrong on both of them.
Well, as long as he's right on the score prediction, that's the biggest point.
Yeah.
Cody, I'm pretty close to you. I'm at 24-17. I'm going to give that, Texas offense, a little bit of a boost. I get in the defense, the ability to make some stops and everything. But I am going to go 24-17. I do. The 31-13, Cody, would have been amazing if you did that. Now, by the way, you would be the favorite mod. If you did that, you would also, as Jason and Alex can tell you, you would be the most hated mod if Texas ended up losing. So having a more conservative score is probably best for you. But it's a clean sweep for us. Let me just share my screen real quick and just throw this out here before we get out of here. These are some of the Longhorn things on here. Fellas, there's tons of Arch Mannings. If I had to put one Arch Manning thing, gun to your head kind of hypothetical thing, is there an Arch Manning play that you like the most out of all of them?
I think that, yeah, he's going to have longer than 13.5 for his longest rush.
Ooh. I like that.
He absolutely will. Like I actually, I'm going to make an entry right now that has that and has the Mason Shipley kicking points. But now I think we're allowed to make more than one bet on Arch too, right? Or like
correct. You can do multiple on the same player.
Up to three, I think. Up to three on the same player.
Not, multiple Arch Manning projections within the same entry. So but that'll be one. Gosh, that DeAndre Moore 3.5 receptions. They always fool you with that. And then the other one, I know that it's a little bit of a long shot, but here's the thing, guys. Like Parker Livingstone, based on some sources that I've talked to, has been by far and away the leader through spring and fall camp, just for receiving touchdowns and team drills. I think that I put in an entry earlier with the 0.5 receiving touchdowns for Parker Livingstone. Mm-hmm. Whenever you add that thing, that's a demon one, and when you put that into an entry, it really, really, really juices it up. You can put that in with just one other one, and instead of getting 3x, whatever, it gives you like 8x. So I think that one it shouldn't be as long a shot, considering the fact that apparently the guy's been just living in the end zone through fall camp. So I would that's another one that I'm going to be putting in as well.
Cody, anything from a Texas thing that I've got on the screen here moves the needle? I know Jason talked about maybe a Jack Andrews less at that 39.5. Is there anything you see and like here?
No, I did that Arch Manning one that Alex just brought up. I did Trey Wisner south of 77.5 rushing plus receiving. I think that Livingstone one is pretty interesting. I sat and looked at that DeAndre Moore 3.5 receptions, and like I'm very much on the fence. I think that's a great number. Anything outside of Texas, I would say the Endry 17.5 longest reception. I think that's a good. I was trying to remember back last year I think the Gunnar Helm number sat around that 16.5, 17.5, which is a normal set. Is there a Baxter rushing touchdown? Is that a demon, or is that
there is? I thought I saw Baxter at
1.5 rushing and receiving touchdowns for Baxter. Red Devil. Yeah.
All right, I'm out on that. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, none of us want to touch that. None of us want that.
Yeah.
Jason, real quick before we go, anything you liked Texas-wise?
I like the one Cody's on the fence with. I know we're up against it. I like the 3.5 receptions for DeAndre Moore. I think Arch is going to use him as a safety blanket maybe more than you know, I don't know the injuries thing. Like, I don't know. Is Arch going to use the tight ends the way they did last year? I don't know. That's why I like I'm taking the under on the longest reception for Jack Henry's if I'm playing anything at all. But I do like the DeAndre Moore. I think 3.5. I think he gets over that.
All right, guys, you've seen it here. Play $5, get $50 entries. Go on Prize Picks. You got our picks in here. We appreciate you. We will be back next week. You guys take care. Peace.